Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Tony Cole and I'm the Interim National Manager for Nisa Homes. And it's our privilege today to be here participating in Being Me's Charity Hour in support of Giving Tuesday. Thank you all so much for joining us here and listening to us share our stories and invite you to join with us in support of the women here in Canada who find themselves perhaps sometimes on the worst day of their lives needing our support and our help. I'm joined here with Shafia Khan. She is our operations manager in Edmonton City. We are located across 6 cities in Canada, and we're looking forward to launching our 7th home in Ottawa very soon, inshallah. Shafia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here with you, Tony. As Tony mentioned, I am the operations manager in our Edmonton home. I guess we can talk about, you mentioned we have the 6 homes so far across Canada. We're trying to open up one more. The one in Edmonton has been open for a year now. We've been operating. And
yeah, so we have many different calls for help. So obviously a lot of people know that we are primarily a shelter service for women in the Muslim community who are facing domestic violence type situations. But we're also seeing an increase of requests for help for women who are facing other homelessness due to poverty or other reasons, for women who are perhaps refugees or non-status, or recent immigrants who are really just struggling to find their feet here in Canada. And with COVID this year, we've seen a huge increase asking for our support for women who potentially not really needing to come into our shelter, but they need to have the support and connections that our staff can help them with in accessing different supports and services that are available to them in their local community. So that's one of the things that we've been doing during COVID over the summer months in particular. And, it's a real privilege to serve the women in our community and give them that second chance that they need to establish their families in these cities and to have a better, secure future for themselves. Shafia, do you have any stories from Edmonton in particular that, or at least even in Canada, across Canada, to share with our viewers tonight?
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to know, like, as you mentioned, of course, a lot of our clients that come to us, a lot of the women that come to us are fleeing domestic violence. I would say, across the board, maybe like 50% of our clients, but there's also a lot of women that come to us that are non-status, that are new immigrants, are new to the country, have had their PR, are fleeing from homelessness, which isn't related to domestic violence necessarily. So a couple stories that I do have a non-status related one. And I think we've only had a few non-status clients in Edmonton, but it always sticks with me. It's always something that I reflect on, because regardless, but even without COVID, COVID is such a difficult time for people financially across the country, whether, whatever problems you're going through, but someone who's non-status and who's in this country has zero help, literally no help from the government. That means they're not covered for medical, they're not covered, their kids, they can't go to school, you can't work because you need a working visa, you can't get that unless you have your PR or something in progress. So it's very, very difficult for someone who's non-status to be in this country, and let alone if you can imagine someone without status who's fleeing a domestic abuse situation, or just anything, like housing is impossible, employment is impossible. If you have children, it's just, I can't even imagine how these women are doing it. So non-status is always something that is, I think it needs a lot of attention. I think we don't realize how many people are out there
Yeah.
that are non-status and that are refugees, especially with the crisis going around the world, in Muslim countries. That yeah, fortunately, somehow they're able to come here, but there's a lot of work that still needs to be done in order to help them.
And in Ottawa, with our research, we've noticed that 70% of women in shelters are believed to be Muslim immigrants and or refugees. So that's our data from Ottawa. We have a responsibility to the women that we have in those communities to be present and to offer them a solution that, I mean, we know that the shelter system here in Canada is overrun with need. And our community, our Muslim community in particular, are, as a minority community, often find that in those shelter systems, they're not necessarily, they don't feel comfortable. Perhaps they feel that there's a lot of cultural insensitivities or religious beliefs that they're not able to be supported with, and perhaps other safety concerns. And so that's one thing that we're able to provide these women, and they're able to go through the journey to make goals for themselves so that they're able to achieve different things that they need to achieve to gain that independence for themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, in Ottawa in particular, 500 women are turned away every night as a result of needing shelter for gender-based violence. And it's incumbent on us as a Muslim community to take care of our own. And this is one of the reasons that Nisa Homes exists, and why our goal is to be present in every major city across Canada, so that we're able, with the support of every single community, provide those services, not just as a shelter option, but to look at all of the needs that they have and support them to reach those goals. And sometimes those goals are learning about different life skills, employability skills, financial skills, transport and independent type skills, alongside of learning how to take care of themselves, and how to make their wellness and their journey and their emotional health a priority for their lives, so that they can move forward.
Yeah,
Shafia?
I think you said it right, that, I think maybe people don't understand, but Nisa Homes isn't a typical shelter. We're not an emergency shelter. So the difference is that an emergency shelter accepts everyone, has everyone there for various reasons, a very short amount of stay, very few days that you can stay there. Meals are usually provided. But imagine, a Muslim woman there. Imagine her with her kids. Food is one thing, right? Your religious, your diet is one thing, and then safety. You're around men, you're around strangers. Racism is obviously very prevalent in people. You're surrounded by people that it's just a different environment, not necessarily safe. Imagine having children in that. So Nisa Homes, on top of all those things, we provide that safe environment, that comfort, that it's not only just, for Muslim women, we're culturally sensitive, but it's comfortable, and it's inviting, and you let them feel safe. Because if you don't feel safe, then you can't help yourself. You can't work on that next step. You can't, go out and look for a job and look for housing. You need to be able to sleep well at night in order for all those steps to come up. So yeah, Nisa Homes, I mean, of course we help with all those things, along with a list of other things, right?
And 50% of the children in our homes are children. And so we're starting to really examine how we can provide them with support and services too, so that they're able to be successful in their school and with relationships in the future. And that's a really exciting thing that we're starting to develop within Nisa Homes. So you're right, Shafia, when a woman comes to our home, sometimes it is the worst day of their life. And those first few weeks are really, really tough. And it's usually around the halfway mark that they start to really believe in themselves and start making a plan for their future and seeing a lot of hope and possibility for themselves. And it's such a privilege to hear those stories and to see the impact that it has on each lady's lives.
Of course, alhamdulillah, we have so many women coming through our doors. Everyone has a different story, you know, and the resilience that they have, and they're so inspiring, you know. That of course the first couple of days, the first week they come, it's strange, it's different, you know. They walk into our homes like, why are there so many rules, why are there so many people here, you know. But when they start to realize that their caseworkers are there and how much they're helping them, and what they're doing for them, and you know, caseworkers are working for them when outside of their meeting times, and doing research and making those phone calls and trying to make those connections. And when they see that they're able to make those phone calls on their own, and they're able to go see those places on their own, and make those appointments and do those things, they have that little bit of support. Like you mentioned, childcare, right? We try to provide that in the home, so mom has a little break. So mom can attend her meetings, mom can make her phone calls, and that makes such a difference, right? That a woman couldn't have done before.
Yeah, definitely.
And it makes such a, even if the smallest thing, like you get a babysitter for mom so that she can go to the doctor, you know, women, a lot of women, they neglect taking care of themselves because they're so occupied with everything else happening around them. It makes a really big difference, the smallest thing.
Yeah. And we have our wonderful supportive counsellors in every home, and they provide the most interactive, fun-filled, joy-filled group sessions that every single week, so that the women in the home can come together and they learn and they laugh together, and it's just such a wonderful opportunity to have all of these experts, all of you experts joining together to help a community. And really that's what it's about. We're here as a community supporting each other. We're women supporting women. And, you know, it's just it's such a privilege to be able to come around these women who we know who need that extra support and nurturing in this time. And it's always sad to say goodbye and see them on their journey.
It is those goodbyes. Oh my God, there's so many tears. You know, the kids don't want to go. Caseworkers are crying, clients are crying, but it's happy, right? It's happiness.
It's happy tears.
They're becoming independent. They're doing something. You couldn't have imagined that 3 months ago when they first walked in, and it's beautiful that we're able to do that in that amount of time.
Yeah, and this is what's really exciting, is that we're looking now. Ottawa is our major focus for Giving Tuesday and for December, and we're so blessed and so privileged that Being Me has partnered with us in our campaign. And you know, so again, we would just want to let people know, it's just we can see that the need is everywhere in the Muslim community across Canada, and we want to be present, and we want to assist in the community on the ground, providing the support to their own community. And it's not about us coming into your city. It's about, it's a partnership. It's you, it's your community, it's your Nisa Homes, and we need your support to be able to deliver these services to these ladies and help them have that second chance, regardless of what their circumstances are and why they need our help. We need to come together around these women and give them an opportunity. And it's breaking people out of a cycle. It's giving them that chance to take some ownership, to make plans for themselves, to look at their talents and their gifts and what it is that they can do to provide for themselves and their family. And we continue to provide for them even after they've left home. We provide support from our caseworkers, continue after they've left home, and we continue to provide them with some financial assistance. And obviously we're a project of National Zakat Foundation, and so whenever one of our clients needs to have any kind of financial assistance and support, we're able to refer them to the National Zakat Foundation, and they go through their qualification criteria, and we can help them in that way as well. So inshallah, we are really looking forward to establishing our home very soon, early in 2021 for Ottawa. And, you know, to be honest, I'm just going to take my glasses off because it's getting a bit foggy. You know, I think as a community, we all know someone, you know, we all know someone who's having a hard time financially, who perhaps finds themselves in a situation where they weren't before, and they no longer have a home or any way of supporting themselves. And, you know, in moments like this, at this time of the year, it's easy for us to go, yes, I can give something. But for me, when it became really close to home, when I found my own very close friends in this situation, and they needed help, and they didn't have Nisa Homes because it wasn't in their country, you know. And Canada is really extraordinary because Nisa Homes is here, and the Muslim community really passionately believes and supports the work that we're doing here. And there's nothing like it that I've seen in the world. SubhanAllah, Nisa Homes is here in Canada. I urge you to think about your sisters and your loved ones, your daughters, your best friends who you know may be going through a tough time. It could be them. It could be someone that you know. And Nisa Homes is here to support our community, but we need your help. We need your help to establish these homes across Canada. We make sure that the people that we have in our homes are fabulous, they're committed. The team that we have is just extraordinary. They're so passionate and so committed to providing these women with a second chance, but we can't do it without your help. And we're doing this together as a family. So please support us. Please give today on Giving Tuesday. I'd like Shafia to give you a happy story about some success stories that have come through our homes. Take it away, Shafia.
Happy stories, happy stories. I got some. Without going into too much detail, of course, let me see. I had a mom with, she had a son, and she had a business, but due to COVID and, you know, some pre-existing things, unfortunately, her business, she had to go bankrupt. Financial problems, things like that. She wasn't able to afford her living space, and she had to come to Nisa Homes. So, of course, very emotional and everything like that. Counseling was very helpful in our home, and her caseworker was also very helpful. And she eventually, within the 3 months of her stay with us, she did move on to her own place. But while she was staying with us, she was thinking of ways that she could come up with, you know, make a living for herself. Like, what else can she do since her business was gone? And she started to, I think the word is refurbish furniture and like redesign it and take like old scraps and put them together and made this whole thing out of it. And she went on to live on her own, and she made a whole business out of it, just working. She started off, you know, this little idea in our garage at Nisa Homes. She asked us, can I just have that little space so she can start working? And she would take, you know, people would ask her like, oh, I have something old, can you fix it up? And she would make it so beautiful. It looks like something out of a catalog.
Wow.
And that's what she does now. That's what she does now.
And
it was amazing. It was amazing.
I always love to hear these stories because it's just amazing to hear how innovative women can be. That's what we are. We can make something from nothing.
Yeah.
And how many times do we hear stories like that where women have sat down and they've had to think about what it is that they can do, and some extraordinary things happen, and they're able to contribute to the community. And I've seen so many stories of some of the managers will just the operations managers in different cities will just send me messages to say, oh, this is what a past client has sent me to say thank you. And it's just so encouraging to hear those stories where people are, they're doing so well, and they've found their way, and they remember us, and they remember what we do, and they remember that it's the community that helped them with this. It's the community that supported them to, in the most challenging moment of their life, the community was there. And Nisa Homes, we can be nothing. We can do nothing unless it's with the support of the Muslim communities in every single city. Exactly. And it's extraordinary to me as a very recent immigrant to Canada to actually see just how active and involved the Muslim community is in an organisation like Nisa Homes. So it's such a privilege to be here and to serve women, to be together with women, and across Canada, to know that there's a community supporting the vision and the mission that we have to help women in their worst day of their lives. So it's a really fantastic opportunity that we have here today, and we're really asking everyone to support Nisa Homes and establishing our home in Ottawa, and please do give. It's there's a hadith that we often remember, and it talks about how when we are in a position to relieve a fellow believer of distress or their difficulty, to alleviate a debt that they may have, or to conceal their fault, then Allah will also remember us and do the same things to us, for us rather. And please forgive me, I don't have the hadith verbatim, but it's something that I want everyone to remember, that, you know, maybe you're not the kind of person who has the ability to work in our home and serve these women face to face, day in and day out. It's a tough gig, and we have some really special people supporting us with that. But you can participate, you can help us, you can help support Nisa Homes, and you can help us to establish a home in Ottawa. You can be part of that. You can be part of that vision and that mission, and we can change the lives of these women. And even though they come to us and it's a tough day, we know that in their 3-month journey that they have with us, we can see so many good things happen, and they're able to move on with their life and build a better future for them and for their children. And it's such a privilege. It's such a privilege. Alhamdulillah for the opportunity every single day to help these women.
Yes.
I just want to thank you all for being with us and listening to Shafia and myself. Nisa Homes is the Being Me charity partner for this hour. Woohoo! Down below there is a donation link. Please, I'm asking you to join with us and donate. We need your help. We want you to stand with us and surround these women on the worst day of their lives with all of the love and support and care from us as women, and from Allah as we serve him every single moment of the day. And it's such a privilege for that. Assalamu alaikum. Shafia, do you want to say goodbye?
Sorry. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I just wanted to say that you said it right. I mean, it's our responsibility as a community to take care of our women and our sisters in our communities in Islam, and anyone that we can help. And Nisa Homes is just a home at the end of the day. We're just one home, and we've seen so many, big numbers, a lot of inquiries this year. I can only imagine the amount of people that need help in Ottawa where there is no home.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so please.
So please support us and join with us, and inshallah we will continue to help these women on their journey, inshallah.
Inshallah.